残酷な天使のように少年よ神話になれ青い風が今胸のドアを叩いても私だけをただ見つめて微笑んでるあなたそっと触れるもの求めることに夢中で運命さえまだ知らない痛いけな瞳だけどいつか気づくでしょうその背中には
Okay, you can still hear me?
羽ばたいたら戻らないと言って目指したのは青い青いあの空悲しみはまだ覚えられず切なさは今掴み始めたあなたへと抱くこの感情も今言葉に変わってく未知なる世界の夢から目覚めて外跳ね
の笑顔だらすメディア知りたいその秘密ミステリアス抜けてるとこさえ彼女のエリア完璧で嘘つきな君は天才的なアイドル様今日何食べた好きな本は遊びに行くならどこに行くの何も食べてないそれは内緒何を聞かれてものらりくらりそう淡々とだけどさんさんと味噌で見えない秘密は蜜の味あれもないないないこれもないないない好きなタイプは相手はさ答えて誰かを好きになることなんて私わからなくてさ嘘か本当か知り得ないそんな言葉にまた一人落ちるまた好きにさせる誰もが目を奪われてく君は完璧で究極のアイドル金輪際現れない一番星の生まれ変わりその笑顔で愛してるで誰も彼も虜にしていくその瞳がその言葉が嘘でもそれは完全な愛君の目は光り輝いて僕の目にそっと夢を見せてくれたんだ思い出してほしい心が叫ぶ時はもう一度あの空を見たい自分に素直になればいい夢を僕が叶えに旅に出るからさ悲しまないで僕が守るから自分に素直になればいい答えないで僕が傘を差し出すから僕が守る
望んだ自分望まれた自分と揺らめいてる Yeah, yeah, yeah 愛したいのに愛せない心を許せぬまま Yeah, yeah, yeah 本当の声も乾いた孤独も自分の一部と認めた時プレッシャーめいく全奇跡何が待っているんだろう光り合う世界 車してく街を選んでみせてた傾くフライング伸ばした僕の手は見たことない景色へつながった尋常じゃない感情はどうにさいなまれた When you want this I chose number point open the your needs 憧れの季節長く without devil cycle by freedom machine rays of 眩しい光すぶった手を目を背ける一瞬 It's sun is blazing on my armor 振り向く暇はないんだ Oh you man 後戻りできない Just let it go Rays of 眩しい
Are you having fun, Gelf?
Get pretty much always, but I'm sorry. That one, it slaps. Okay.
It is such a good. It is so good. I love that opening.
It slaps, and also, just I can't help myself because you do. I mean, if you're not going to use drumsticks that are pointlessly sitting on your desk,
Yeah, or
something like that, then why are they there?
I'm a very big headbanger myself.
It's so funny that all happens on the day that my wristband comes in the mail for the Louder Than Life Music Festival. It's probably something to do with that.
That's awesome. So hey everybody, how are you tonight? Real quick before we get started,
what's up, guys?
how does everything sound? I know we had a little bit of scuff the very first beginning of it last time, so I just want to make sure everybody sounds good and everybody's mics are loud enough. We've got good sound going in.
I think we're okay. I'm seeing a popcorn emoji. I'm sorry somebody's sick. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, please feel better.
Eli says he can hear us. Hey, Eli. What's up?
Awesome. Yay,
Twyla
yay,
says,
yay.
yep, with one exclamation point. That's the
Perfect.
energy level we're coming with. Hey.
Let me get our nice little lo-fi beats here, and you guys let me know if it's too loud.
Ew.
Or if it needs to be louder. I adjusted a few things last time because I'm trying not to be Alma 2.0 and have and be Scuff Queen 2.0, so let's not. I do my best.
You know what? Scuff Queen kind of sounds like a cool thing, though. So maybe
you think in the moment it would be cool, but she's made it her whole identity. So I mean, it works for her, it makes her cool. But I don't know if it would be super cool for us. But
it's one of those. It's cool, like as long as you don't look it up, maybe.
Oh no, it just means like we don't scuff. Just mean like we don't want to have a ton of tech issues.
Okay.
So yeah, because like last time I think I started, I was like, "Hey guys, how are you doing?" And here I'm over here muted, like in total noob fashion. I was muted right up from the get go.
No, you didn't pass the vibe check.
I did. So welcome to our second live, you guys. We're so happy to see everybody here. Are you guys ready for all of we got some pretty cool stuff to talk about, some really cool announcements to talk about, some updates and all kinds of stuff. Are you guys, are we ready? Are we ready? I'm ready. I'm so stoked to talk. I've been holding in a lot of things here lately that we want to talk about. So super cool to have you guys
We
here.
are gathered here that Kat may unburden
Yes.
herself, and you all get to bear witness to that.
Yes.
So thank goodness we have this fancy schmancy live stream setup that Kat worked so hard at. Maybe it's the company, or maybe it's the conversation. I don't know. It's probably this graphic though, but doing this kind of thing makes me feel weirdly cooler.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm glad we're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we love connecting with the attendees too. Like that's a big thing. We don't want to be some sort of weird, far off, unreachable person that our attendees can't come to us with questions, concerns, and other things. And we want to make sure we stay on your level as much as possible. That's one of our big things at EvilleCon, is that our attendees feel safe, they feel heard, and that you guys feel like you can connect with us.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, I'm so happy to be doing the job that I'm doing, being the social media person for a convention. That fits for me personally, because that way I feel like I'm keeping the party going all year long. Because I know that
Yes.
I just came back from, I was at one in St. Louis, and let me tell you, the con funk, the con depression, just whatever you want to call it, on the last day, it was
Yeah.
like everybody's con depression was waiting until the moment the last panel was done, and then as soon as it was over, bam, it's like everybody, it's like when you're
It hits
when
like
you
it
have,
hits you like a truck.
exactly, it's like when I was a kid and everybody had a Furby, like me and my brothers each
God.
had one, and if one started going, the others would start. You couldn't stop them.
I still love
And
that
the con depression
story.
was like that.
I still love
But
that
that's
story
why,
I know about a Furby. These people had a Furbies in their trunk. And I can't remember if they went into a theme park, they went in somewhere. And they came back to their car. And there was a crowd, like a small crowd, and a couple of cops at their car. And they were like, "Ma'am, is this your car?" And they're like, "Yes, what's wrong?" And from the trunk you could hear, "Help me, it's dark, let me out, help me." The Furbies had turned themselves on and were talking from the trunk, so they thought there were people trapped in their trunk.
oh my God.
Like,
That
so cursed.
that is so, like, I'm getting stressed out hearing that story. If that was my trunk,
I'd lose it. It's like the other guy who had his parrot was screeching from inside the house, and the neighbors called the cops because they thought some crazy lady was like he'd kidnapped some lady. Anyways, the crazy stories. Oh my God. So Gelf, just go ahead and get us going. What is the first thing you would like us to cover today?
Okay, I have my notes on my phone, by the way. Very,
Yes.
very professional. Don't
So
get
professional.
overwhelmed by the high tech, setup over here. With my notes app with the agenda in it.
That's totally, hey,
But,
if it works, it works.
So anybody who follows our social medias will know that the artist and vendor applications are still open for 2026. Those are going to remain open until September 1st. So
yes.
you have about another week to get those applications in. I know that a lot of people have already gotten theirs.
Yes, we've had a lot of applications, but we want more, always more.
No,
More.
absolutely. We cannot. We are greedy little gremlins when it
Yes.
comes to those. We want everybody to get their applications in. And in a perfect world, we would be able to. You could just sign up, pay for a space, and we could have everybody. But I will say that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to with the change of venue. I know we spent a lot of time talking about the new venue that we're going to be in, the Owensboro Convention Center.
Yeah.
We talked about that a lot on our last live stream, and the artists and the vendors especially are one of the things I think about when I think about how excited I am.
Oh,
with the
especially,
change,
yes,
because
same
we're going to
here.
have so much more room.
Yes, we're going to be able to accommodate so many more awesome artists and so many cool vendors. And that's one of the reasons, like, that's why we always want more applications, because we want to give you guys the best juried experience that we can and have as much variety and have everything that you want and then some. So the more artists we have and the more vendors we can get to apply, the more choices we have in bringing you guys the best experience possible for our new convention. Always remember there will be a little bit of growing pains, but I mean, but that's one of the reasons why we need your guys' help too. If you guys know artists, if you know vendors or are 2 degrees from a vendor or know anybody or any way helping us share our social media, sharing the posts that Gelf makes, sharing anything from our social media out there, because you never know who's going to see your stuff as well. So having you guys help us spread the word on any and all of our posts, honestly. So any interaction, any sharing, anything we get, we'll push those social media posts even further. We'll get more people seeing it, more applications, and more things for you guys to have at the convention.
And this is where I get to make my little shout outs for all the EvilleCon social medias, because I know that there are a couple of people, and I know who they are because I see the notifications, because I got all the social medias logged in on my personal devices. But if you subscribe to EvilleCon on any social medias, go in and turn on your notifications so that when things get
Yes,
posted,
I do.
you know about it right away.
I do.
Because little peek behind the curtain for you guys, anybody out there who doesn't spend all their time managing social media for different outlets like I do, that algorithm giveth and taketh away. And the thing is, you would think that by now we would have had an idea of exactly how to handle it,
It's
but they
constantly
tinker with
changing.
stuff like that. Oh my god. And actually,
Oh,
Kat
goodness.
is usually the one who's sending me videos saying, hey, by the way, there's a new idea out there of
Yeah.
how to navigate the algorithm, because you get used to posting consistently at the same time of day and things like that can still help. But there's all these different ideas out there of what time of day is the optimal time to be posting. Do you do it in the morning so that people doom scroll as soon as they reach for their phone when they wake up? Do you do it in the afternoon because some people can't even take their phone out until after school or after work or whatever else they're doing? So the posts may go out at different times of day for that reason. It's not because we don't care or because we don't want you guys to have the information. It's actually the opposite. We're trying to make sure that we're trying everything that we can to make sure you guys get the information, and you guys are an important part of that process. As soon as those notifications come out, engagements are going to help a lot, especially
No matter
for
the
those
algorithm, the
potential
engagement is always a massive thing in order to get the posts out to everybody.
Absolutely.
And you're right,
especially
Sierra. They change it the moment you figure it out. They're like, nope, never mind. Here's the new one. And I'm like,
because that's how you justify keeping all those social media people on your payroll
Oh,
if you're
my
a big
goodness.
company.
Yeah.
But, as it pertains to what we're talking about, there are some artists and some vendors, and what we want to try to avoid as much as possible is people who may be interested in our event that they may be good for, but then they don't even find out we exist until, unfortunately,
I
we
am
have
always
had to close our
surprised at how few
applications
people
and the
know about
decisions have
us.
been made. I know. And when I started with EvilleCon, we had less than 1,000 Instagram followers. We have almost twice that now.
What?
Actually, no, twice that now. I'm confident that we can break 2,000 by the time we get through our next EvilleCon. I'm absolutely sure we can do that. And especially our TikTok, we had, I think, under 200 or somewhere between 200 and 300 a year ago. We're at almost 1,300 now.
That's awesome. I love to see it. I love to see it because the more that we grow, the more we can offer you guys as well.
Yes.
Because always keep in mind, this convention is a nonprofit. So any and all proceeds, any type of money that comes through the convention stays with the convention. So everything goes back into giving you guys a bigger and better show every year.
And it's not just about us. It's about you guys. You guys are if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have a reason to do all this. We'd be doing
Absolutely.
it for ourselves. So, and that's why we want to make sure that we're getting the word out there, especially with your guys' help as much as possible. And hopefully we'll be able to bring in some new artists and some new vendors.
I know we
for
will.
this next year, along with some of the old faces. I mean, you guys who have been with us for a while now, you probably have a pretty good idea of at least a few people to expect. Of course, the more applications we get in, this is the fun part for me. I love saying this. The more people we get applying, the harder that committee's job is.
Yeah.
Because when we cap those applications after about a couple weeks. In this case, we're keeping them open for a solid month since we can take more of them. But the more names we have on that list, the harder it is when they have to deliberate
It's a good problem to have.
those applications. Yes, it's a problem that we want to give them.
Yes.
And they like having it because going through the applications, tinkering with the map, bringing people in, that's for me when I'm walking around helping to set up the con the day before, which next year just happens to be on my birthday.
Oh my god.
I know. It's trust me, it's what I want.
One heck of a
be
way to spend
doing
your
on my
birthday.
It's exactly what I would want, because a few years ago, that's how I got mixed up with EvilleCon in the first place. Somebody
Yeah.
asked me, "What do you want to do for your birthday?"
I want to go to
Which we can
EvilleCon.
use. Yeah, and we can use this to segue into the next topic that I actually have listed here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's what I said I wanted to do. I wanted to volunteer with EvilleCon because I'd known about that
Yes.
event for years without going, and I figured volunteering would be a good way to get in. And it was,
really is.
because the exact makeup of the staff can vary from one year to the next, but at its core, EvilleCon has one of the all-around best staffs I've ever gotten to know. And in different capacities, I've gotten to know most of the staff for a lot of the events that I work with. And not to disparage those events or their staff,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're good people and they work really hard. But when it gets right down to it, I'm at the convention that I should be working for, and I'm working with the people that I should be working with.
Well, and I love the one of the biggest things for me right now, especially as an artist alley and a vendor person myself, is the staff, the volunteers. Everybody cares. It is one of the biggest, like, it is very hard to find a staff that cares as much as EvilleCon does about its attendees, about its guests, about its artists, about its vendors, and making sure that everyone is taken care of. Because at the end of the day, you know, you guys are why we do it, so it makes no sense for us to not care. And I've just seen so many conventions treat their attendees and treat their artists like they don't matter, and that's not true. They wouldn't be there without them. So that's one of my biggest goals, is to make EvilleCon different from a lot of those really big name conventions, and to make sure that no matter how big we might get, we will care about everyone. We will care as much as we possibly can. We will care about your experience, and we want to give you guys the best con you can have.
EvilleCon cares. That should be a
EvilleCon cares.
t-shirt.
Yes, EvilleCon cares.
Evil
I'm
care.
I'm writing that down.
Yes, write down evil care. I'm a sucker for pushing words together. I don't know why. It's fun. But I'll use that point to segue into the next thing that I think we could talk about, which is the artist and vendor applications will close on September 1st. And then about a month later, I believe, on October 1st.
Yes, our normal
October 1st,
open date. Yeah.
That used to be when we opened everything, but fortunately badges have been on sale since the end of the last EvilleCon. And I'm sorry, somebody wrote Evil Care Best Health Insurance Agency.
Anime health insurance. I'll take anime health insurance.
Oh man, okay, that is not what a cosplay hospital is, but if you think about it.
Real quick though, before we actually talk about October 1st, we totally skipped over. Panel applications are also still open. Panelist applications are still open, so if you guys have panels that you want to submit, you want to rant about your favorite anime, you want to host a game show, I think Gelfie mentioned you've done a speed dating before, like all kinds of different stuff. So
let me qualify that for a second. I'm not trying to be a love connection to nobody.
It's all in fun. It's all for fun.
So, at this event, that yes, it's purely platonic. It's speed friend dating is what it is.
Speed friend finding.
I have considered, if you guys would be interested in this, let me know, because we have staff members who run panels. I don't usually run panels at EvilleCon because I'm usually running around like trying to get pictures, video, making sure things get reposted, doing my job. But the concept that my friends and I do at other
find my weaves.
Someone said find my weaves. I like that. So basically, the setup is it's exactly what speed dating is, where you've got a couple rows of people, one row stays, and then one row rotates one to the left, and then there's like 2.5 minutes of answer. Like you give them an icebreaker question, and you know the rules are set so that we make sure that people's private information is not being given out without consent, that people feel safe and respected, and this is something that my friends and I do. And Twilight in the comments section knows, because she's been to that panel at other conventions where we've put this on. But it's always a really fun, successful thing. It's a great way for people to find people who share their interests, because I know some people would love to make friends, they just maybe aren't 100% sure. But if this is something that you guys would be interested in seeing at EvilleCon,
Let us
get at
know.
me about
Tell
it,
us,
and
yeah.
I will make it happen, because there is no idea that is too bizarre. If you guys think it might be something fun that you could do well, even if you're the kind of person who has maybe a spreadsheet or a Google Doc with dozens and dozens of panel ideas and you can't choose between them, so you just submit them all to see what sticks. Not that that ever happens, but you can submit any panel ideas that you want, and you can even submit multiples.
Yes.
Some of them might get approved, some of them might not. There could be a lot of reasons for why a panel isn't accepted. There's times where I don't submit panel ideas because I think, well, that sounds like a good idea for a panel, but a lot of people are probably going to submit that. Like,
Do it
a
anyways. You never
karaoke
know.
panel
Yeah.
doesn't matter, because true story. One year I did a Has-Been Hotel sing-along panel at OMG-Con and Akai-Con.
Nice.
And I filled both the, not necessarily to make the fire marshal mad, not to that point, but I got a very good crowd for both of those sing-alongs. And apparently nobody else thought to submit that. That was the only thing that was holding me back in that case.
Now you need, what you
I
need
thought
to do
someone
though.
else is gonna.
Now you need to do a K-pop Demon Hunter sing along.
Okay. First of all, yes, absolutely, that needs to happen. Second, I'm not going to do that.
Someone submit that right now.
I have
go to the panel application.
Yeah. Somebody go to EvilleCon.com, open up the panel application right now, and submit the K-pop Demon Hunters sing along, and give it something fun. Like, give it a fun name. Like, this is what it feels like to sing the entire
K-pop, the entire soundtrack. Yeah.
No, something shorter than that. But seriously, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is even if you think someone else is going to have the same idea as you, maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe theirs will get picked, maybe yours will get picked. Just go in, give us all of your idea. It's the same thing like with the vendor and artist applications.
The more applications we have, the more variety we get to pick from,
Yes.
and the more variety in paneling and programming that you guys get.
Exactly.
Because I will say,
we want
paneling and programming is probably the biggest thing that we rely on you guys for, as far as like what is brought to the show. Staff can submit panels, which technically my husband and we've submitted a couple of panels of our own. We shall see what happens. We had some very fun ideas. I'm not telling you. It's a surprise. No, it's a surprise.
Just one.
No.
Please.
No.
Please,
No.
comment section, please gang up on Kat with me. Please.
It's a game show style one that we came up with.
Okay, I'm satisfied with that.
Okay, cool.
Belay that order to bully Kat into telling information, everybody. It might, you know what? I love those because I love the personally. I love the interactive panels.
You shush.
Yeah.
He's over here next to me. You shush. You know.
Wait. Hey,
I'm part of the stream now?
Hey, that angel of a man helped you 3D print a dual runner, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. I go back and rewatch. I go back and I rewatched that video of Greg and Ted seeing the dual runner for the first time. I watched that to cheer me up when I'm sad, because that video is so cool. The fact that we had that, amazing.
You know what's so funny? We went to
Hi, buddy.
Our website, Master Michael.
It may or may not be what I'm working on right now, actually.
Yeah.
He's the handsome one in the group.
He is. It was so funny, though. We went to a local card show not too long ago, and we were talking to them about EvilleCon, and the guy was like, yeah, it was so cool. I went. They even had that Yu-Gi-Oh! Motorcycle fully 3D printed, and we're like, hi, that was us. It's like, yeah, we did that.
Oh, man. I love that. When we did the TikTok, I'm probably gonna do this again or some version of it. But the thing that I did this year that was the most fun for me was when I did the shake my hand in character videos with our voice actor
those
guests.
are so fun.
Some people, I think, in the comments section, they clocked Greg because he said, perhaps later we can go on my motorcycle and rev it up. And I just thought it was cool that he was even willing to do any of that. Because anytime like they're willing to be good sports and help us make that content, I am so grateful for that. I don't even care about the rest of the stuff. But he said motorcycle, and some people are like, oh, it's called a dual runner.
Yeah.
Like,
always good.
okay, great.
It's called a dual runner.
Oh, yeah. It's like, that's the energy that I get from those comments. Well, excuse me, but I believe it's referred to as a dual runner. They use that term approximately
That man hasn't played Yu-Gi-Oh! In so long, he
times.
couldn't even remember where to put his hands, okay? He didn't know.
He was doing like,
like,
that
where
was
do
my
I
favorite part.
put my
He's
arms?
like putting kitty paws up.
Because he's like, I don't know where I'm supposed to put my arms, I don't remember.
It's like, hey, give these guys a break. First of all, they did not actually have to ride dual runners. They just supplied voices, okay? And also, that show's been off the air for a bit.
Actually, Sierra has a good point. That's an idea for a panel. We can rip off, what is it? I don't know what the group is, but they do the YouTube channel that does actually.
You know, we could do something like that. That would be a panel.
That's a panel.
That would be a
Writing
panel.
that down too. I'm gonna write down. I'm taking all the ideas. Michael has his headphones in now, so he can, he doesn't hear me. Oh, he's got you.
But I can't wait. Like, I'm especially when we move. That's another thing to move into the space is that I'm not. I don't have a perfect map in my head of what the layout is going to look like, but I think we might have a bit more panel space than we had in the old venue. Am I correct?
I believe so. One of the things that we want to do, it is about the same, but it will be set up a little differently. I do know that our main events will be downstairs. So that'll be kind of like that will be the only kind of like panel room that's like away from the rest of the panel rooms, which it kind of was the same at Old National Events Plaza, because in the opposite, the main events was upstairs and all the panel rooms were downstairs. But we want to make sure there's room for everything else. One of the big things that we're trying to figure out, which I think we have figured out, but I'm still waiting on confirmation of a map and everything, because we had a couple different ideas of where to put it. But a quiet room was a massive request.
That's a must.
Yes.
We have to have that.
But we still also have to make sure we have room for our maid cafe and our tabletop gaming and everything. So we'll at least have the same amount of panel rooms that OMGCon does. We'll still be using all of those same 3 to 4 panel rooms that are in the one hallway, and then those I believe currently it might be the large window rooms are going to be a mixture of the video game and tabletop throughout that back side there. And then the maid cafe and another room that may or may not be a panel room or a quiet room. I had a different suggestion for the quiet room, but we'll see how chairs hash it out. But we want to make sure the maid cafe has enough room, because they do small performances and that they have their space to do their thing. But yeah, we'll have about the same amount of room, but I do know, like, programming is one of the biggest things we really need you guys to, hop on and really help us out with. I do know some of the people that are possibly going to be our featured panelists. I'm really, really excited for that. We're finalizing those types of things, but one of them I know she has a lot of really great content, and I'm really excited. I'm trying on a couple other things to bring you guys more programming and bring you different programming, because I know that was no thing. It was like there were a lot of requests for a lot of different programming from what we've had before. So I'm trying to help programming bring on people that have different things from what we've had in the past, but also relevant things. So stuff that's themed to current anime and game shows. Interactivity is a big, big thing. So game shows, workshops, those types of things. That was a really big one. So if you guys are a cosplayer or a gunpla builder or or painting or art, anything like that, anything that can become an interactive workshop that you feel comfortable either teaching or even just, I knew a wig panel at a KaiCon was like someone who does wigs. They did like an overview of like, here's how to style wigs and here's my advice, but they were also like, bring your project with you and I'll come around and help you do the thing you're struggling with. You know, we'll work on it together. So you could do something like that where it's like, you all bring in a similar project together to work on wig styling or hand sewing or maybe a type of art project that you could all do together. All kinds of different things. There's so many types of things that I've seen at conventions that are really, really fun to do. And I'm really excited for this upcoming year's programming because I think we're going to have a lot of really, really cool stuff. But yes, I believe those will close much later. So there's still plenty of time to get them in, but make sure you go ahead and you don't miss out on it. Because like if you say, well, I'll do it later, and then before you know it, that deadline is here and maybe you might miss it. So just go ahead. If you have an idea, throw it into the panel applications and see what happens, you know. And if something does happen and you either can't run it or anything, just let us know. It's not a big deal. But we would rather you go ahead and, you know, get your ideas out there and put the application in than unintentionally miss it. You know what I mean? Because we know there's some really cool ideas just waiting in the shadows to be seen and for everybody to love. So please come do the thing. Please come bring your panel ideas. I'd love it if in the board game room there were more opportunities for Magic Gathering competitions that doesn't conflict with other programming, like later in the day or something. So actually, for as far as this year and I believe the next year, I believe we're keeping the same people. So our board game room is run by a staff member, but the TCG, so the trading card game stuff, so that would be Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. Anything that's trading card related is run by a third party. So someone else comes in and helps us run those tournaments and competitions and things, and they set their schedule. So we can take that feedback to them and ask, but they run their schedule the staff that they're able to accommodate for the event and how they normally would be able to run it. So that's slightly out of our hands in that sense, but we can definitely, when we're talking with them and setting it up for the year, we can definitely let them know that there's a request to have those types of things, and maybe they can finagle it around in their schedule. So always never feel like you can't like tell us something, because like I love to hear these types of things. I want to hear feedback. I want to hear what people want to see, you know, what times people want to do things, those types of stuff. So
yeah, and when you guys let us know things like that, like if it's here, if it's in an email, if it's in the comment section or a DM on any of our social medias, we want you guys to speak on it if you feel like you need to speak on it. Because when you guys let us know those things, we can either bring it to the attention of whoever runs certain departments, we can bring it to our chair's attention, or we can make note of it and then it can go on the agenda for our next staff meeting.
Yeah.
And stuff like that is exactly the kind of thing that we should, you know, be incorporating into our agenda for the staff meetings, because then we can figure out, you know, how, if this is something people want, how do we accommodate it?
Absolutely, yes. All right, so, and then we were moving on to, so October 1st will be the volunteer applications and our cosplay masquerade signups. Those will both open on October 1st. But I tell you what, guys, we need volunteers this upcoming year.
Oh my goodness,
with the bigger
yes.
venue and the more programming, we're going to need more people to help us out. And, you know, depending on how many hours you spend, you could get a whole free pass for your whole weekend. And it's honestly, like Gelf said, it's a gateway. If you really want to be a part of the con, it's a gateway to staff. It's a really, really good way to figure out how the convention operates, what it takes to do this job, and, you know, the impact that you have on the impact that you have on the convention as far as helping. Even just badge checking at a door is a big deal. So all those little things really help make EvilleCon as good as it is. So anybody who's interested in in volunteering, please apply. Zephyr is an amazing coordinator. They got they got it down to a science.
Yeah. And we do a lot to take care of our volunteers. We really we don't ask an unreasonable amount of hours. We make sure that you guys are taken care of. We
feed
feed you guys. We
get
give you guys a
t-shirt, too.
t-shirt. If you guys need to take breaks, like if you have any kind of conditions that need to be accommodated, if you're getting overwhelmed, if anything else is going on with you and we need to be aware of it so that we can try to work around that, we can do that. Like we've had situations in the past where it may be something like there's particular content from a certain fandom that you find triggering for whatever reason, which is not something you should ever have to justify to anybody. If you let us know what it is, we will remain aware of it.
Yeah.
And
so some
we
people
can
do
make
better
sure that
guarding a door versus, doing registration check-in, because registration check-in can be a lot more social than just watching a door. So a lot of people like to watch a door versus, handling money or doing a lot of the check-ins for registration. So just let Zephyr know where your strengths are, and Zephyr will be able to accommodate and place you where you need to be for sure.
Yeah. And don't worry that if you guys have something that you struggle with, that's going to discount you from being brought in as a volunteer. That's not something that should ever have to. If you guys want to pitch in and help out, even if it's for a little bit, even if it's something simple, we want to make you guys a part of the experience, because without our volunteers, none of this happens.
Mm-mm.
And I was that person when I first volunteered with EvilleCon, and that may have had a little bit to do with the fact that if I'd had my way about it, 2020 was supposed to be my first EvilleCon, because I heard about EvilleCon when I met Robert at, actually this was kind of a fun surreal moment when we were table swapping at OMG-Con over the summer. Robert and I were walking around upstairs. We were just taking pictures, taking in the vibe, getting ready for the weekend. And we hit this particular spot, and I said, Robert, do you know where we are right now? He said, I think we're on the 3rd floor. Like, okay, thank you, Robert, for the
you're
geography.
not wrong.
Like, no, what I mean is we were actually standing in the spot where I saw Robert as the Ox King for the first time with a sign that said free hugs, and then he gave me one. He told me about EvilleCon, and for years after that, I saw the staff at OMG-Con and said, one of these days I'm going to get down there.
Go.
And then finally, we were planning for my birthday for the next year, and it was 2020. This was before anything happened. And I said, I want to volunteer with EvilleCon. Like, I specifically want to volunteer because I missed being part of making an event like that happen. And I just got this feeling EvilleCon was the right fit for me. And then it didn't happen for 2 years. But by the time it came around, I was so determined to do the work that goes into running something like this. They actually had to remind me that I have to take breaks.
That's me too. My
like,
helpers are always like, when did you eat? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm still running around.
It's like, doesn't
like,
matter.
Sit down.
It's okay. That was also the first year I actually put a pin in thus Gelf was born. I'm going to come back to that in a second. So that was actually that was the debut year of me cosplaying as Linda Belcher. And when I look at those pictures, I am horrified. Like, I did not put any kind of thought into the silhouette, to put it that way. The wig that I had was the same fried to death wig that I got from Spirit that came with the glasses and the apron. Let's just say I've been through a lot with that cosplay, but that was the first year that I did it. I did it on the last day of the convention, and Brian Baycock, one of the actors who was there, he asked me for a picture, and I said, wait, aren't I supposed to be saying that to you? You're the celebrity guest. But he loved the cosplay because apparently he's been a line producer or something on Bob's Burgers in the past. So he's worked on that show. And I may be mixing up my stories, but I think that's how John Roberts, the voice actor for Linda Belcher, found out about my Linda Belcher cosplay, because I think he might have tagged me in something. Either way, the voice actor for Linda Belcher knows that I do that.
That's awesome.
But at the end of that weekend, it's still one of the coolest feelings when I found out that I co-won volunteer of the year, and they've switched up how they do stuff like that now. Like there's a rookie of the year, volunteers of the year, but winning that award was really important to me because it meant that the work that I had done was worth recognition. And even though every volunteer can't all win volunteer of the year, everything that you guys do when you sign up to volunteer with EvilleCon contributes to our event in a very real and very important way. We're not exaggerating or overselling it when we tell you guys that without volunteers, it doesn't happen. Even if you can't do a whole day, you don't have to, but I promise you, if you can do a whole day or the whole weekend,
It'll be worth your while.
We have a good time. I can't promise there won't be bumps that we have to navigate, but we do it together as a team.
Absolutely.
Because any event like this is going to deal with stuff. It's unavoidable, but it's how you get through it and getting through it with the right people that makes the difference. And it's like Kat said, Zephyr runs an amazing team. Zephyr is exactly the kind of person that you want coordinating your volunteers, and their assistant coordinators are also brilliant people.
Absolutely.
So when you sign up to volunteer with EvilleCon, you're becoming part of an extraordinary
EvilleCon
group
family.
of people who do an important job. Yes, exactly. Assimilate to the hive of EvilleCon.
Yeah, so if you guys
it's-
have friends, if you guys have family, siblings, cousins, anybody who might be interested, definitely have them, once those open October 1st, have them throw in an application. And then also, like, we don't throw you in, I hope you guys know, we don't throw you in, like, we don't throw you to the wolves either. Zephyr has a nice little course in once a month or so meet up, so that way they can tell you the different departments, tell you the expectations, the types of jobs you'll be doing, and then you can let Zephyr know, where you feel like you fit best. So that way, you kind of have a better idea of what's going on and what is happening, instead of just getting there and being like, what am I supposed to do? Don't worry. Zephyr takes you through the steps, and Zephyr tells you what is going to happen. So don't worry about that.
I always look forward to that moment, the day before the convention officially opens up, when we're just getting everything set in place, and I'm trying to run around doing my little infomercial filming, and we're trying to figure out if flights are coming in. But then that group of volunteers comes around getting the tour. I get to just
It'll be a new tour
there.
this year.
Zephyr walks up like, this is Gelf. Gelf used to be one of our volunteers. And then sometimes
There's
I
not
mess with
very
them a
many
little
of
bit. I'm
us
like,
that I think I'm one
volunteer
of
for
the
what?
only people who wasn't a volunteer right from the get-go. I wasn't a volunteer.
Well, yeah. See, you were kind of unofficially a lot of things before you actually joined our staff.
Yeah, I didn't do like volunteer in the sense of like purely on like Zephyr's team, but I was already running the photography booth before I became staff, so I was volunteering in that sense, volunteering my time and doing stuff. But yeah, no, I love volunteering and working for conventions. I've done all the staff work I've done is also all volunteer. I've helped with the larger conventions as well here recently. I have helped a KaiCon with some stuff on the cosplay side of things. I used to help OMGCon on a bunch of stuff. So, I mean, for me, it's very fulfilling work to work with the convention and see the event come to fruition and see everybody have a lot of fun.
I have also worked with a KaiCon. Delightful group of people who put on a fabulous party.
Yes, we all intermingle in this area.
I think of us as like, and it's not an official like thing, but I think of us as being this little network of conventions up and down the Midwest about the same size that all
And that's
kind
the
of
way it should be.
like we visit each other, we table swap with each other, we present at each other's events, and it's things like Anime Crossroads up north, us, OMGCon, AkaiCon, but people who go to the same kind of events in the same basic area, they know. Because they've probably gone to a lot of those same events. But As much as I love all of those others, I really truly do feel like I'm on the staff that I should be on. I work with the event that I should be working with, and the opportunities that you guys get to provide a fun and safe, and not only that, but important space for
Absolutely.
people. This is something that I've been saying at conventions a lot recently. You never know when you go to an event like this, how something that you're doing might have the ability to impact somebody's life in a way you never saw coming. Even a small thing like saying, "Hey, I really love your cosplay. Could I get a picture?" Or if somebody looks like they might need to figure out the right way to go, but they're too afraid to ask, and then you say, "Hey, is there anything I can help you with?" Stuff like that matters to people. You
It's
never
all in
know,
the
because they
details.
might
All the
not.
little stuff adds up.
Yeah, they might not ever actually say it out loud to you with words, but little things like that can completely reset people's brains and set them on the right path.
Absolutely. So the other
So,
thing that will be opening will be our masquerade signups. So be sure if you want to compete
yes.
or compete in the cosplay competition or perform in the performance division, be sure to get your signups in ASAP as soon as those open. I believe there's emphasis on making sure for our craftsmanship. Thank you, brain. Our craftsmanship competitors, making sure you're picking your prejudging appointment time is one of the biggest things. You want to make sure you do that as soon as you can, because the sooner you do that, the better, the more likely you are to also just get the time that you want, because those times fill up really fast. And we have some great, not everybody's announced yet, but we have some really awesome people lined up this year as our judges, and I'm really excited for you guys to meet them. They've got some awesome panels that they want to present, and I'm really excited to have them as guests this year and judges. But just be sure that you're, signing up. Even if you're not entirely sure it will be done, go ahead and sign up, because that way your slot is, you are in. You're not waiting till the last second and then it's already full. Those types of things. I do know there's a big push for performance division, and you can do both. You can do performance and craftsmanship. So if you want to do both, you can. But we need more performances for sure. We want to, give you guys a performance division to do skits, dances, whatever it is that you want to perform, this is the division to do it in. Because we had a lot of requests to bring back some sort of type of performance event. So this is our biggest performance event, is the start of the masquerade. So definitely get those in as well. Open on October 1st, and those will close pretty close to convention time. We want to keep it open as long as we can, and we will have at-con signups for walk-ons, so like exhibitors, those types of things. And there will only be craftsmanship signups if there's anything open, but usually everything is full before the convention even happens. So want to make sure you get your slot in before convention time, because there's no guarantee that when you come to the con that there will be any craftsmanship or performance division slots left. So yeah, be sure you do that.
For some people, I think for some people, one of the hangups might be they want to be in the masquerade. They do want to compete, but they don't know what they are going to be wearing. Correct me if I am wrong, but I believe if you end up changing your mind about what you would like to cosplay, you can do that.
Yes,
can't
you can. Yes. The
So
biggest
go ahead.
when I've been judging, I've even had people walk in the room and I'm like, this is your name, but it's not what I have on the paper. Like, oh, I had to change it last second. Okay, cool. Because it's not what you're wearing for our competition specifically does not change your placement or anything, as long as it's still a handmade costume. Now, if you go from a handmade costume to a purchased costume, that's a whole other can of worms. But if you're just going from one handmade costume to another handmade costume, that's totally fine. We just want to make sure your information when you get there, if you need to change it when you arrive, get it changed so that way your character and your show and everything is announced properly. The only thing you may need to do is get with our coordinator about changing your picture that they put up on the screen for you guys, because that's something we still plan on doing, is putting up the picture of your character and your name and stuff up on the screen, so that way everybody knows what you're wearing, which is really cool. Yeah, I know. I
Right.
know that feeling, Sierra. It's hard to choose, but just pick the one you feel like will be. There's still about a little over a month to go for that. So by the
Yeah.
time that month hits, you may or may not know. But whichever one you feel like is the most likely that you'll bring, you just go ahead and enter that one.
Yes.
And then if you need to change it, it's okay. If you know ahead of time, let Dylan know. If you don't know until you get there, just get with Dylan as soon as you arrive and tell Dylan, hey, I just need to make this minor change, and they'll be able to take care of you, no problem.
And I want to say this too, cosplayers, please, cosplayers, please. If you sign up for the cosplay masquerade, please show up for your pre-registration appointment.
You're prejudging, yes.
Prejudging, yes. That's what I'm. Sorry, I was thinking about pre-registrations.
Yes.
That's what I meant to say.
Be
Yes.
there 10
You're
to 15 minutes
prejudging.
early.
Yes. And if you get there even earlier than that, fine. But you're gonna check in at the room where the prejudging happens, wherever that's gonna end up being. I'm sure we'll have it figured out by then.
Oh yeah,
But-
we pretty much already have it figured out, but I want to make sure we have everything confirmed before we put it out there. So yeah, but yeah,
Yes.
Dylan and I already had a
But-
pretty good idea where it was going to happen.
But this is one of those things that every year we have a couple of people who I feel like they signed up, they were ready, and then they show up after their prejudging appointment and they say, sorry, I didn't know. I'm pretty sure it's in the application and you should get an email. If it's
Yes.
getting close to con and you haven't gotten an email but you feel like you should have, then email us and ask us if those have gone out. We try to let people know. This is another reason to have your notifications on social media, but we try to let people know when we send those emails out so that if somebody feels like they should have gotten one but they didn't, they can reach out to us and let us know so that we can fix it. But we will let you guys know exactly when and where to go for prejudging, and we need you guys to be on time because prejudging is a big deal.
Prejudging is the
judges
thing that takes the
have-
longest, and the more people that are late, the further back it sets judging. It also
Yes.
it also runs the chance of you being disqualified. If you're not in communication with the coordinator, and this is any contest, if you're not in direct communication with the coordinator of letting them know what's going on, and it's not, and it's something that's like an emergency, and I know our time of the year, a lot of times it's weather. Weather is a huge thing for the time of the year that we host the convention, so just be sure that you're taking that into consideration, getting to the convention early, getting inside the convention early, and going ahead and being at the convention long before your prejudging time as best you can. So that way you can get there at least 10 to 15 minutes early, because also they could be running ahead of schedule. I've had lots of competitions run ahead of schedule, and we've taken people 10-15 minutes early because either someone's not there yet, so we just go ahead and take the person that's outside, or we're just really on top of things that day. You know, we're ahead of schedule. So it's the biggest thing is staying on time and on schedule for prejudging. Because if you're late and there's no communication, then they will disqualify you. They will go ahead and pull your name. But also in the similar vein, if you cannot make it or cannot come to the competition, please let us know. Even if you're there and you don't want to compete, that's fine. Let us know, because we often have a wait list. Because those people are waiting, possibly if someone does drop, to be pulled from the wait list in order to compete. So if you know ahead of time, let us know so that we can accommodate other people that may have not been able to fit in to the original scheduling. So just be communication is key here. Making sure you're staying in communication, reading your emails, staying on top of those, communicating with the coordinator about any and all questions, and coming to your prejudging appointment on time. And then coming to line up on time too.
Yes. That too. We go to a lot of trouble to make sure people know when and where to be for prejudging and for lineup. That's a thing that also every year without fail, there's a small handful of people that we tell them when and where to be for lineup and to go over everything. And as the MC for the cosplay masquerade, I need to be able to gather everybody in one space with enough time, because for my part of the experience, it's very, very important to me that I'm helping to present you guys and enhance your experience in the best and safest and most efficient way possible. And I need everybody together with enough time to be able to do that, because it's a lot of people to get through. I have to make sure I'm pronouncing your name, your character's name, the thing your character is from. I have to get all that right. I want to make sure your pronouns are right. And most people know by now, but I have a way of emceeing the show that apparently a lot of people like. So I will continue to do that. But every year I will ask if you want me to do it the way that I do it, because if you would rather I not, then I won't. But I need to know that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's a lot of names to get through.
It takes time because it's like taking attendance for class. We have to make sure everybody's there and everybody's in the proper order, you know, and everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing, so that way that the contest can also run smoothly as a show just in general. So, and then the performances can go on stage on time, because we also, there's events after the cosplay competition. So really there's not a lot of wiggle room for us to go over time, because we've got things like the dance party and the drag show and all kinds of other things that usually happen on the same night. So everybody basically just stay considerate of not only your fellow competitors, but the staff and the event itself and the other events that are happening. Yeah?
Yeah, and there are a couple of good points being made in the comments too. Like Eli's pointing out that when you are not on time, it can push the whole schedule, and the judges are not going to push somebody else out of their time slot for you, which is true. We understand emergencies happen, and sometimes there is just no way to communicate to people that you had an emergency. Things like that happen, and we try our best to be accommodating because we know things come up, which, to the next person's point, as Sierra brings up, last year, we did not necessarily have the best weather on the day of the masquerade. There was some rain. There was some concerns about people dashing across the street in cosplay. So definitely make your best effort to be on time for the event, but don't rush yourself. Don't run in the rain, anything that might actually put not wanting to damage your cosplay aside. We're more concerned about your safety.
And that is one of the things I like about the new venue too, is that the new venue, the lobby has so many chairs and couches and things that you can sit in. So even if you're there early, you can just chill on one of the couches until it's time. That way you're already in the venue and you don't have to worry about rain and wind and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yes, and we talked about this a little bit on the last live stream, but the hotel situation I feel like is going to be better for next year.
Much better,
because you got the Holiday Inn on one side, you got the Hampton on the other, you got another hotel that they're currently, I think, still finishing up, but it should be open by the time.
It's supposed to be finished, but I don't know. You know, things happen, so we'll see what happens. But they are building a hotel right across from us right now. Yeah.
Yes, but hopefully, it'll be the point is that hopefully for a lot of you guys, you might have to walk outside to get from your hotel to the venue, but you won't really have to cross as many streets.
No, yeah.
I don't feel like.
No. Holiday Inn is a slightly longer walk, but there's only one small street in between each of the hotels in the convention center. And they're not horribly busy streets. You're not going across the same style of streets that were at Old National Events Plaza. So that's really nice. Let's see here. Okay, Gelf. So, that was something we just had recently. I think some of you guys were actually at the art market.
Yes,
I heard it was a ton of fun.
We're the ones on this live stream, and we were not. I
was going to be there. I ended up getting sick. I have migraines, so my poor noggin was like, No, you can't. You're not doing that today. So, but yes, I heard it was. I was very much like constantly texting Dylan like, drink water, make sure everybody's drinking water, drink water, drink water, drink water, because it was so hot that day. But that is actually something I brought up to them. I was like, hey guys, maybe we should do it like in September or something, so it's not so hot. Like,
Please tell me you said it that way.
well, I said it through text, but in my head I was telling them that way.
You can say it that way in a text.
But, okay, good. No one died. That makes
You
me
just
really
have to
happy.
use a lot of extra vowel sounds, and it does it for you.
But I think I heard it was very successful, though. There were lots of great artists there. And I think we had almost 160 people come through. So that is
we did
awesome.
have a good amount of attendance.
That's awesome.
I did hear
Yay!
that.
Yes, that's so
And this
awesome.
year, unfortunately, we didn't. Last year we had some things that unfortunately we didn't have this year. Like I still love the content we got surrounding the dunk tank.
Yeah.
The dunk tank. That was as the person who was trying to film stuff as it happened, I enjoyed the comic fodder of the dunk tank. That was a fun
We'll have to
thing
think
to
of
have.
something else. If you guys have ideas, like, let us know if you guys like what other fun things you would like to have at stuff like that. You know what I mean? What other fun activities or things to do that you would like to have. Something else. I'm hoping we're able to. I really want to know if we can incorporate the flea market even further into the conventions. I'm really hoping maybe that's a possibility. Because I love the
Pie
idea.
throwing at staff. Yes.
Oh
yes.
no.
Yes. Yes. Pie throwing. Yes. Pie throwing. Pie throwing.
Y'all
yes,
just
yes.
are y'all just is this just are we just y'all just like bullying
Me.
us? I'm
No,
okay with the
me.
water balloon fight.
Specifically,
I do a water
me.
balloon.
Throw. You know what?
I was the queen of dodgeball in middle school.
$5 to throw pies at me. At Gelf.
Okay, well then you get to do that.
Donate. Yes. Donations for we'll find a
gosh.
cause maybe, but people donate money and they throw pies at me.
Well, we do actually have a charity that we are spotlighting this year, the Healing Reins. So they are a horse therapy charity. So they work with disabled children and other people. And to give them animal encounters and experiences riding horses, which is really cool. My sister, who is autistic and has a learning disability, did it for a little while, and she had a lot of fun. So that's our charity for this year. We're trying to have a charity each year. If we can theme it to the animal year that we have, then that's great. If not, then that's okay too. But we want to spotlight lots of local and nearby nonprofits and charities for you guys to support. But I do know our market was a success, so that means it'll still become a thing. But definitely, you guys, let us know what time of year you guys would like to have it, though. Because it's like, we want to know when you guys can make it. Because we can have all the artists and all the staff and everything, but if you guys don't come and see us, see them, and buy the art, then, we want to make sure you guys can make it. So let us know what time of year works best for you guys to have stuff like that.
Yes. Unfortunately, we can't always accommodate every single thing, but we really do try. When you guys give us feedback like that and you let us know what works, what doesn't work, what we need to accommodate.
We're not mind readers. So we need you to tell us. We need you to tell us. Tell me.
No,
tell
our
me.
hats tell you. Our hats actually give you a pretty good idea of what's on our minds. Kat's, it says anime all day, and mine is actually one of Kat's hats. This is my Valentino from Husband Hotel hat. It's never a question of which of Kat's hats am I going to wear. It's which one goes with the outfit I'm wearing today. Because at this point, I've got so many. And this is not the point of the live stream, but I'm saying it anyway. I don't care. The K-pop Demon Hunters hats that are out. I need a Saja Boys hat.
If you're going to MatsuriCon, I'll have them.
Yeah, because I'm going to go to Matsuri. I wish. I wish. Yes, trust me. Kat was the first person I told about the okay. So no, I'm gonna tell people this because it's hilarious.
Oh, no.
I've actually debated posting
If you
this
send
to
me
our
a
social
pic,
medias, but I can't think of a context for
I
it.
can post that picture you sent me. I can
Do it.
put it on the live
you
stream.
Take that picture. Do what it. Yeah, take that. If you can put it up on the live
Where is
stream,
it?
whatever you want to do with it, go ahead. But what happened was I had this outfit that I had been wearing for a lot of I've been wearing this outfit for a lot of conventions recently. It's like a dance party coded themed version of Vox. It has a really cool sweater with it, but I kind of low key based this whole outfit around Kat's hat, because Kat finally released, the V's from Has Been Hotel, and I bought the whole set. So I had my Vox hat with me at a KaiCon in Tennessee over the summer. I left my hat on the dashboard of my car, and it was sitting there all night and all day. And when I came out to my car, when a KaiCon was over to drive home, the antennae on top of my Vox hat had completely melted. My hat looked so defeated.
That poor thing didn't know what happened. Oh, I hope this works. Let's see if this works.
It's okay, but it's okay because the antennae are replaceable. I'm just glad I didn't lose the hat. Like the hat is fine. I actually, part of me wanted to see if I could just wear the hat with the melted antennae. I probably should have thought of that before I threw them away.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness! What was happening? What?
There it is.
What? I can't.
Poor melty Vox.
I can't.
No, you can't see it.
No, I just see like the sky. Oh, there we go. There we go. That
poor Vox melted.
Oh my gosh. That hat looks stressed.
It does. It's like, I can't handle it anymore. Let me out.
Oh man, that is funny. That is
oh
funny.
My gosh, that poor thing. We'll get you some new antenna gel, Gelf, don't worry.
Oh man.
Gelf, it's like the GIF gif.
But for the record, that's what I love about the way you design these hats, is that they've got little snappies on the top. That's how the accessories are usually attached to them. So if anything happens to your accessories, I just order new ones.
Yes. So actually, now that we're talking about pictures, how about we get into some of those really cool announcements we talked about?
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't seen our social medias today, we announced Danny Chambers is coming. So so she'll be coming along with Brian. So Brian is our other really cool special guest.
Brian.
Let me see if I can grab. No, grab.
I have to tell the story. I'm not gonna put anybody on blast, but when I announced Danny today, just for context, Danny and Brian play two of the main characters from the Ancient Magnus Bride.
Yes.
That's a big draw for the two of them. And when we announced Danny, somebody commented, "Wonderful! Now you guys should invite Brian for the Ancient Magnus Bride."
It's like, we kind of already did.
Now, one of the fun things about my job as social media manager is when we get those kind of comments, I have to ask myself, do I just communicate the information straight up, or do I get cheeky with it? And yes. See, that's the thing. When you do that cheekily, you have to be very, very. I found emojis are helpful with this, but when you decide to do it, like when you let the snark out, as one person puts it, when you get cheeky with it like that, you have to make sure that when you're doing that the person doesn't feel insulted, because tone is very, very hard to interpret from text. And so I responded to it by simply letting them know we announced Brian a few weeks ago. And we still have a lot more than Danny and Brian to announce. And when you look at their credits, both Danny and Brian have been in some really big stuff. In addition to the Ancient Magnus Bride, Brian has been in One Piece.
Also, if you haven't watched it, The Sacrificial Princess is really, really good. He does one of the characters from that, Jormungand. It's really, really good. It's also I think one of the reasons why I like it so much is because I like Ancient Magus Bride. It's very it's very much along that same vein of anime. Ancient Magus, yes, Ancient Magus.
Is it okay? See, this is one of those titles I feel like I'm always messing up because I'm always saying Magnus.
Yeah, it's Magus.
It's not Magnus. It's
Ancient
Magus.
Magus. Yes.
The ancient Magus. Okay, this is one of those things where I'm always glad when we cast people who are a big deal in a thing that I haven't seen, because this is what motivates me to watch the thing. I had not seen Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, but when we started planning our lineup for last year
Gotta
and
go watch
announcing it, I said, I gotta watch this. And you know what? I was missing out. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds is legit, okay?
They just dropped.
So
the
cool.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Shop just dropped a clothing line too, and I'm over here bashing my head against the wall because I'm not made of money and I want to buy all of it.
I am unsurprised by that information, and absolutely
It's
you
totally
should do
not
that.
like I have a Yu-Gi-Oh! thing.
Just with these actors being in things that I'm not that familiar with, I love that is the thing that motivates me to finally get around to it, because then it's connected to an event that I care very much about, and that helps make it even cooler. And by the way, perfect time for me to start binging Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds in response to our convention, because sometime in the weeks leading up to EvilleCon last year, we had a pretty big winter storm that kept us homebound for about a day or two. Perfect thing to do when you're stuck at home, can't go anywhere, anime binge.
And if you need something to binge, speaking of which, Brian actually just got recently cast in a new role for Lord of Mysteries, which is a really cool anime. My husband and I have been watching it already. It's got about 4 or 5 episodes in dub. So I believe the term is actually a donghua. So it is actually Chinese in origin, but the animation is top notch. It is stellar. It's very much like occult Victorian England, like I'd almost say it almost feels like Dishonored, kind of like that kind of like similar steampunky Dishonored vibe, but with magic. Lots of really cool like magic and mystical stuff. So if you want something new to watch, and it's being dubbed and being released weekly. So the new episode will come out this weekend. But Brian voices Dunn Smith, which is like the captain, one of the main like characters of authority in the show. Really, really cool character. I love him already.
Characters of Authority. That's a new band name, I call it.
But it's like, I don't want to spoil too much about the show, so it's just hard. I'm trying to figure out ways to say things without saying things. But basically, the main character becomes a part of this group, and there's a hierarchy to it, and he's a captain within this group. So, but if you're really into like occult and magic and Old English stuff, it's really, really, really cool. Like I said, the animation is wild. I mean, I would say even like it even threw me more for a loop than say like when the first season of Attack on Titan came out. Like that animation really like, you know, was up there with Jujutsu Kaisen same way. This is like another tier. They really went all out on the animation for this show. So because I kept seeing clips from it, and over here like, when is the English coming out? Give me the English. I want to see it. And then Brian was like, I got cast as Dunn Smith, and I'm like, yes. Absolutely, yes. And where's the English now? But I did bring in, so here's some more of the cast if you guys want to see. So a lot of really cool names. Joshua Waters plays the main character. He's a really cool guy. Joshua does some other roles. You got Ian Sinclair, Brian, of course, and some other names. And it's a really, really cool show. I highly recommend it for you guys. So if you want something to watch, something to binge, something to catch up on, something new to know about, talk with Brian about at the con, this is the thing to watch. It's brand new, so it's awesome.
And we've also we have I believe our next we're gonna bask in the glow of Danny's guest announcement, I think, for a bit before we release our next one. But I think the next guest that we will announce will probably be one of our cosplay guests, because so far the one cosplay, we've got a couple cosplay guests coming, and they are gonna be awesome. But I'm really excited by Ichigo Rose, because cosplay is one of those things that, because I'm in the cosplay department and I MC the cosplay contest, you would be surprised how much I'm still actually learning about what the cosplay scene is really like from that point of view and who some of the people are. A lot of times, roles like this are how I find out who the cosplayers are, and I love what I get to see and what I get to learn from them after I find out about them, which is part of why I'm glad that one of the things I'm planning on doing again, now that I've successfully done it at least once, is I love doing the interviews with the cosplay guests and finding out
Yes.
where they've come from, what they do, what they're doing next.
She's really
'Cause-
Ichigo's really cool. She's got actually some like more like professional theater background as well. She was actually had a when I worked with her recently, she was actually practicing for a big stage performance and singing, like a musical style performance. So it was really really cool. I've worked with her on multiple occasions. She's very 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 sweet person. Oh my god, I love her to death. And I'm really excited to bring her on and to get to work with her again at our convention, because I was just when I met her I was like, I gotta have her. So I'm very happy that she was able to is going to be able to make it all the way to our little con, and I'm really happy to have her again.
And I'm just going to tease this real quick. I'm not going to say a name because we're not announcing them yet, but there is one cosplay guest in particular, and I have a feeling you'll know who it is when this person is announced. But I am stunned, absolutely stunned that we got this person. And when they bring whatever they're bringing with them, people are unprepared. You could begin preparing now. You will be unprepared when you see it, because this person that I am thinking of, I have seen when I look at I daydream about being a good enough cosplayer to even like hover in their atmosphere, because it's just I'm not gonna say it, but I want to say who it is.
Well, but I will say the reason we were able to actually get this person, and the reason they actually came to us because of how well we go out of our way to treat our guests and treat our cosplay guests, treat our voice actors, treat our attendees. Their friends were like, hey, you gotta go to EvilleCon. It was so fun. We had such a good time. The staff was great. The attendees were so fun. So that tells us that we have something special. For other people to tell their friends and tell the people that they work with that you should go to this con, that's what we want. That's the kind of vibe, and that's what we want to give back to the community. That's the energy that we want to see.
Exactly. Word of mouth carries a lot of weight. And that's why we, in a lot of different ways, we want people to speak on their experience, no matter what the capacity, whether they were an attendee, a volunteer, a staff member, a guest, a vendor. We want everybody to be as vocal as they feel like they need to about what it's like working with us. Not only does that assure us we're going in the right direction or let us know what we need to try to do better, but it also lets other people know that we are a place that they should check out. Because in this business,
we are small, but we are mighty.
Yeah, a couple of good reviews or a couple of bad reviews can make or break an event like this. Not gonna name names, but there's a fair amount of both of those things happening in the world of conventions right now.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier about wanting to break that trend. You know what I mean?
On social media lately knows what I'm talking about.
But yeah, no, I'm very excited because Danny also brings a lot of newer stuff to the table. So she's got some Genshin credits, some Honkai Star Rail credits. She's even got solo leveling. She is the Juhi, who is in Jinu's original group of dungeon raiders. So she's in a lot of really new stuff. Of course, she's Chisei. She's in Spy Family, Frieren, a whole bunch of things that I know you guys know. So she'll be a beautiful and awesome addition to our convention. I'm super excited to have her. I heard I saw someone say One Piece. Yes, I that was a big thing you guys wanted. So I'm doing my best to look for some One Piece people for you guys, and I got my hands on Brian, so I was like, yes, Give me that. I'll take that. Thank you. We has Brian's One
Unfortunately-
Piece, Ancient Magus, Sacrificial Princess. We got Fairy Tale.
Fairy Tale. That's the other one I was gonna say about
Yeah,
Brian.
he's Macau, yeah.
Huge draw for Fairy Tale. Because the thing about shows like, especially One Piece, Fairy Tale, your shows that have been Dragon Ball Universe, your shows that have been running for years and years and have all these different, offshoots with hundreds of episodes. It's on the one hand, it's not as hard to find people who have at least been in that universe at least once, because the everybody, it feels at least like everybody's been in at least one.
We were joking the other day because you're rewatching Naruto. It was so funny because every other random character, it's Johnny Young Bosch. And I'm like, how many characters is Johnny Young Bosch in Naruto? Like, there's so many.
All of them?
They just, every random character, they're like, hey, Johnny, get in here and record this line real quick. We just need to slide. Just need that.
Man, I'll tell you, every year, without fail, we ask people, who do you want to see? Someone says, Johnny Young Bosch. And I say, me too, bro.
Me too, bro.
Johnny
Me too, bro.
He will save us. He is...
He is expensive.
Okay. Yeah. As much as any one, voice actor can. He's been a Power Ranger and a Demon Slayer. He knows what he's doing. And I have thankfully met him. I am like 2 or 3 signatures away from... I have like one thing on my fandom bucket list. I have a box set for Beck Mongolian Chop Squad, and I need... What? Why is that funny?
I haven't heard that name. I think I've heard that name maybe a few times.
Yeah, every time I bring the show up, it's the same thing. But I have it right here. It's on my wall. It's autographed by Greg Ayers. It's my Beck Mongolian Chop Squad wall scroll. But I have my original box set that was given to me a long time ago. And I am halfway to getting all of the signatures on it. I just need Jerry, Eric, and Brina.
Nice.
So for the record, all those people also on my list. I have brought them up. It is not my fault. It's not my fault.
It's not my fault either. I can only do so much.
No,
I'm the coordinator, not the final say.
And some people still don't realize this, but the amount of work that you put into making sure that we have an incredible lineup, and that our lineup is people who are not only going to interest the public, but are going to be people that are going to be great to work with. You do a lot of work to make sure we have the best roster possible, and it pays off every year.
Yeah, and this is, and this is not to say that, like, just because we get these certain voice actors, that doesn't mean I didn't ask about 50 other people as well.
Oh yeah, it's a whole, like, there could be, it's
a process.
There are so many reasons why we might have some people some years and some people not other years.
Well, our biggest thing right now is we want to bring you guys some fresh faces. We want to bring in some guys, like we have voice actors that are like, I want to come back, and they are still on my list, and they're still ones that I'm looking at. But right now, we want to make sure we give you guys, because a lot of you guys came back and were like, we liked Yu-Gi-Oh, but we want to see stuff from new anime. And I was like, absolutely, I got you. So I worked towards getting new and fresh faces and characters that are really important to you guys and really popular with you guys. So I was looking at Solo Leveling and Genshin and Frieren and a bunch of other stuff. And I want to make sure that we give you guys choices while still also not breaking our bank as well. But that's one of the things we talk about, because we are nonprofit, there is only so much money to go around, and I'm not the only department of EvilleCon. So there is quite a lot that goes into booking guests, not even just voice actors, but cosplay guests, entertainment guests, the DJ, the featured panelists, all of it. It's all part of the budget, renting the venue, everything. So, it's a big thing, because it's also, we want to make sure that if we get one big name, that may be all we could afford. And then it's like, do you guys want quantity, or do you want like that one big name? Because it's like I would rather give you guys 4 voice actors to choose from than just only having one to pick from. You know what I mean? So we want to try and balance those things. Give you guys new people that you've never met before, while also, you know, having enough people to choose from and staying within our budget, because you guys want us to live. So we want to stay alive here. So that's the biggest thing, is just balancing all of those things, giving you guys a great experience while still staying within a reasonable amount. But I'm really excited, and we've got even more after this. I was able to make some deals happen, man. I've been emailing my booty off. It was like, I don't think it was even like 2 weeks after this year's convention that I was already like emailing people being like, I need to know, do you have this person? Do you have this person? Can I book this person? Can I have this person? You know, the chairs are probably so sick of me. They're like, do you take a break? No, I don't take a break. I don't know what that is. Who is she? We don't know her. I don't know what that is.
As we discussed earlier, must be reminded to
sit down and
stop
eat.
and eat.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of
knows.
stopping and eating, I think it's
yes.
almost
have
time
we
for.
covered just about everything? I'm double checking your notes you sent me.
Wait, that's everything that I had written down. If
Okay.
there's anything you can think of or anything that anybody wants to pop in the comments section real quick.
Oh, I know real quick. Everybody, if anybody has any more last minute questions, please go ahead and send it in the chat. But also, if you have not done so already, I've figured out how to pin the comment. I pinned the badge giveaway. So we want to do our badge giveaway before we end our stream. So make sure you've put in your entry so that we can do that. I'm just going to enter in some names.
Hooray. No, not 10-hour EvilleCon. See, that's how you know I've been doing this too long. No 10-hour live streams. No. I did at the convention that I went to in St. Louis, we did a concert, and it was 4 hours, and I offered up my phone to use for the live stream, and my phone would have died had it not been for the charging bank someone loaned me, which I had to mail back to them after I got home because I accidentally took it home with me.
All right.
Giving away a freebie badge, which, by the way, I forgot. I forgot when I was advertising this live stream on our social medias. I forgot we were gonna give away a free
Yeah,
badge.
we do one every live, Gelf. Get on it.
You said this is the second time we've done this.
It is.
When I forget to do this on the third one, then you can be like, every time. This is the second live stream we've done.
That's like when Amma and Saeed were doing their panel. They're like, welcome to episode 1. Every single time. We're like, this is episode 1. All right. I'll give you guys another minute or two. Did we have any more questions that came through?
Other than, can we do a 10-hour live stream? Not that I can.
When I start streaming myself, we're welcome to do that as a subathon, but not on EvilleCon probably.
Maybe, you know what? That might be an idea sometime. Like, we could do it as a charity thing. Like, we could do a like a dance-a-thon, but on streamathon.
Yeah.
EvilleCon. Ooh, EvilleCon streamathon. That sounds fun.
EvilleCon streamathon.
That's fun.
That would be a lot of setup. I could figure it out, but that'd be because there's actually apps and other things that you can do to actually do direct donations to charities of your choice. So that's actually something we could look into if you guys wanted to. I've also proposed charity auctions at the convention, so you guys could possibly, bid on items that are at the convention. Like, a lot of times we've been doing like the raffles for their like name boards or whatever, but I've also proposed doing things like charity auctions for those types of things, and then all the proceeds go to the charity of the year. I believe a KaiCon does one. A lot of furry conventions do one. There's we also usually, a lot of those will take donations from vendors and artists if they have the means and the capability to donate items. And then that's actually also for artists and vendors, that's a tax write-off for you guys too. You can get a receipt, and that's a tax write-off you can do at the end of the year for your taxes. All right. But yeah, if there's an event, once again, as per usual, as an event, if you guys want a specific type of event, you want just whatever it is you guys want to see at EvilleCon, let us know, whether it's a comments, the emails, and the live streams. Like I said, I was taking notes. I'd take notes on the things that we talk about. So make sure, you always tell us, because I promise you're being heard. Okay? I promise. All right, who's ready? I'm going to double check one more time. All right, who's ready for that badge? Spin. Spin that wheel, spin that wheel, spin the wheel.
Ooh, there's a question about prom. Is prom going to be a thing this year again?
I hope so.
That is an excellent question.
I hope so. We are currently in talks. The art market took up a lot. We did actually have one of the only reasons we're a little on the slow side right now. One of our heads actually got to go on a really cool Japan trip. So some of those discussions had to be put on hold while she went on her vacation that she absolutely deserved, and I'm very jealous of her because I want to go to Japan. But we are working towards that, and that's like one of the things, that's like the top of our thing to talk about right now. So absolutely keep an eye out on social media and for any of those details when they become available, for sure. I'm excited. I really hope we do have prom again. I love prom. It's so much fun. I get to dress in all the pretty things I don't usually wear any other time. All right. I'm going to double check on myself one more time. Okay, cool. Spinny, 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 spinny. Winner is...
Who is it?
Aiden! Aiden is our winner this time. Yay! I'm going to write that down. All right, Aiden. So... be sure, we will send you an email. I've got your information. So we will send you an email to get all your information to get your badge inputted into the system. So be on the lookout for that email. And if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. But that will give you a badge for the upcoming year. Woo!
Woo-hoo!
All right, Gelf,
if you give those badges away.
Can you think of anything else before we sign off here?
Yes, if you are not already subscribed to all of our social medias, I say this a lot, it bears repeating. Go follow us on Instagram,
follow.
on Blue Sky, Facebook, join our Discord server and our TikTok. You already know where our YouTube channel is, but make sure that you're subscribed to all of those with your notifications turned on so that as soon as we go live, post anything, whatever the case may be, you will be the first to know. And when those things come up, get on it. Like, comment, share,
hit all
repost,
the buttons.
All of it. Spread the word of EvilleCon and help us to make it as big and grand and wonderful an event as possible.
Yes. Can't do it without you guys.
Dignity. Always
dignity.
Yes. I think that will do it.
Thank you guys for coming. We hope to see you soon.
Thank you. We will let you guys know when the next live stream is going to be. It may be a minute, but we will have a lot more fun things to talk about. In the meantime, any questions you guys have, send them via email, social media, however you want to do it.
Yes. Bye, guys.
But let us know what you want us to talk about, and we will see you next time.
Bye.